I stumble every time we do it. Ain't ever gonna get used to it. Hanging on a garden rubble. It's kind of my love goes. Lord, I can't see it coming.
Sing it,
Arcadia's got
Luigi.
me running, trying not to lose my step. I hope you're gonna take my step. No, my party stops away down the line. And guess what? You're on the next episode of Vinyl
I know
Stallions.
Stallions.
Hey, man, if only we actually did that and had every single thing we said move with music. But, or sorry, that didn't make any sense. I meant every single thing we said, lights would move with us, because that's kind of what we experienced at this concert. And Clint,
Yeah.
tell the people what we're doing today.
So we are doing a concert review of Goose live at the Agora Theatre and Ballroom in good old Cleveland, Ohio. Saw them on Thursday, March 8th or 9th?
Try 10th.
10th. Thursday, March 10th. Agora Theatre and Ballroom, Cleveland, Ohio. Goose. Yeah, it was amazing. I believe they are towards the end of the tour that they are on. I believe this is their winter tour. So they're just sort of wrapping it up. They're from Connecticut. So I know after Cleveland, they went to Philadelphia. So if you just think of it, like you're looking at a map, they're sort of working their way back to Connecticut. Um, you know if they have any plans for a summer tour at all?
I mean, I know they have that. I'm pretty sure their new album, Dripfield, they just announced is going to be coming out in the summer. So I believe they are absolutely going to do. I mean, so for those who
Oh
don't
yeah,
know,
they'll do a tour for it.
yeah, and so for those who don't know about Goose, they're a very young, up and coming jam band. The only reason why I knew about them was because they opened for Pigeons Playing Ping Pong when I saw them just about 2 years ago to the date of when we saw them this past week. And they honestly like that was the first time I saw both those bands, and I remember Goose more that night. They really blew me away. Continued listening to them. They really blew up during the pandemic. Honestly, these guys are fantastic with their video quality, all the use of different cameras. Like I attempted to say at the beginning of this episode when I was mumbling and stumbling earlier, but their light production is incredible. And so they blew up during the pandemic, come out. They are touring right now, like Club said, and will be touring for the rest of the year. They had no opener. Jam bands usually have openers, and especially if you're this young, you definitely want to, I don't know, get other people involved. But they headlined, they did it all themselves, and it was the most packed I've ever seen the Agora in my entire life. And I've seen a lot of shows at the Agora, and from the top to the bottom, filled, everyone dancing, everyone standing. It was an amazing Thursday night.
Yeah, I would second that. I mean, I haven't seen quite as many shows at the Agora. It was my third show at the Agora. The other two bands I had seen there were a indie rock band called Silver Sun Pickups, and then another jam band, Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. Um, and yeah, this was definitely the most packed. One of my first comments to Spruce after the show is because I knew the backstory of how he was introduced to them by seeing them open for Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. My first reaction was, I cannot imagine that band opening for anyone. Like it was so good that they should never be opening for anyone. Like they are their own act for sure.
Dude, they are. And they're just great entertainment from start to finish. So they're from Norwalk, Connecticut. And to go through their lineup, so the lead singer and lead guitarist, his name is Rick. I'm going to butcher this last name, but it's Mira Rotunda. I'm gonna go with that. Um, we'll get into more. Unreal guitarist. I believe he went to Berkeley, may have dropped out, may have we may have just said that because we were on a Berkeley dropout phase a couple episodes ago. But I'm pretty sure he attended Berkeley. From there on the right of when we saw them playing keys and guitarist and also singing was Peter Anspach. Um, from there on the left, the bassist was Trevor Weeks, and that's spelled Weekz. What a badass last name.
Yeah.
Um, then they had two drummers. The back left one that we saw was Ben Atkin, and the one on the right was Jeff Arvalo. And those are the five members of Goose. And I mean, we're gonna get into the set real quick, but yeah, Club. I don't know. I love to just hear, and we obviously love to hear each other's reactions for whether we've listened to an album or seen a band. And I mean, just what do you think of that whole like production? I know I hyped it up a lot leading up to it, but I don't know. It's more than just the music to me, honestly. For this band, it's the production. It's the one word is captivating.
It was. Admittedly, I probably pay less attention to like the lights and a lot of the other stuff that's going on than most. But I mean, it was impossible to ignore with this show. Um, yeah, like all the lights were just incredibly well timed and definitely added to the show. Um, Another thing that I really noticed too, which is different than a lot of other jam bands, but not all, was they had a keys player. Yeah, Peter. He does do a lot of rhythm guitar too, but he also does a lot of keys. And I don't know, it was really cool to me. So I was reading about them, and I mean, I can just tell this from listening to them. But three bands that they list as like heavy influences to them are Fish, Humphreys McGee, and Grateful Dead. Obviously, like Grateful Dead is sort of known as like, like the grandfather of jam bands. Fish is very prominent in the jam band scene. So is Humphreys McGee, and we did a concert review on one of their shows in February, and I mean, I definitely saw the similarities to Humphreys McGee. Like in a lot of ways, the shows were very similar, and sort of Goose was through like a more clean medium, like not a lot of distortion on the guitars. Um, a lot of times Peter had like a classical piano sound on his keys. Not all the time, but I mean, he didn't just have one keyboard. He had, correct me if I'm wrong, a total of six. He would have like the way they were set up. He had two where if he was playing them, his back would be towards the crowd, one on the bottom, one on the top, and then he would have that same setup to his right and his left. Um, but it seemed like the ones on the bottom were almost always tuned to a classical piano sound. Um, it was very, very cool, very interesting seeing that like they're very similar to Humphreys, but they just both bands play through different mediums.
Definitely. And no, these guys, like, I seriously love this band so much. I think the way Rick sings on their songs is just, I don't know, it's different level to me. I love the clean tone. And so I'm sold on the music. The name, and we're not going to go into it, but you guys know me as Spruce. I've been called Goose multiple times in my life. So when I started liking this band, people were like, "Oh, of course you like this band," and I'm like, "I swear it's for the music." But the Goose name did attract me a little bit. And finally, every concert, Peter on his piano has a little Luigi uh, stuffed animal. And I love Luigi. And if that doesn't drive me in, so at the concert, I was rocking this bad boy. That is why I'm sitting in the green room today. Luigi, shout out to you, Peter. On the side, his nickname was the Handini. Oh, shout out to you.
Yeah. And we got the Handini that night.
Dude, we got the Handini. He teed off. You know what, man? Let's just get into these songs because we'll talk about them as we roll through this. But and so for the final preface, I say get into this. But so at this concert was Clupp and I, our buddy B-Mac, who we've mentioned multiple times, and then our other buddies Dirty and Al Casino. And it was us five. We made our move right to the front about 20 minutes before the show. We were right in front of Peter. Um, and Dirty and Casino don't go to concerts as much as we do. So we warn them, like jam bands, they don't play that many songs, but they'll go really deep into it. And the first song was Tumble, lasted for a half an hour.
Yep, I was timing it on my watch. I was just like, let's see how this compares to Pigeons and Umphreys with the time of the first song, and yep, just like right on cue, 30 minutes. Um, yeah, no, it wasn't just one song. That 30 minutes contains both Tumble and I'm Writing a Novel, which is a cover of a Father John Misty song. But yeah, they just took no break in between. So it was basically just one song. Um, and it was just absolutely mind blowing. I know we like to use the term goo pit a lot. Um, Honestly, I would say 80% of it was goo pit. Am I stretching too far?
No, not at all. I mean, so they were very much different in the aspect of the other jam bands that we saw, where they would just slow down. They would just play the same things over again. And it would slowly add something else. Uh, Al
Yeah.
Casino described it the best, honestly. He told us the next day. He goes, they were edging us, slowly teasing us, slowly like bringing us back in. We were like, okay, we're out of it. And every single time, I mean, throughout the concert, I don't know, there was probably like 7 to 10 like peaks. Like, so again, the peaks, they bring you down into these goo pits. They just slow it down for you. You like, it feels like you're not even like listening to it still. You're just kind of like daydreaming, honestly. And then you're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, wait, it's still going. And then the kick drum starts going in, and then you're like, okay, lights are starting to move. It's edging to the finest. It really is. Shout out to you,
Absolutely.
Casino.
um, yeah, that I definitely agree with that. That was one thing that was different is just the length of those goo pits and the time where they would just break it down. Seemed like it was a bit longer than in the Pigeons and Umphreys shows. Like it seemed like Umphreys and Pigeons stuck a little bit more to, I guess, like what the song actually was, whereas like Goose, I feel like they were a little more like free with what they were playing. Um, and like it was pretty awesome. Like yeah, like another thing too, Peter, like he some of the stuff that he was playing on rhythm guitar at times I almost felt was like more impressive than what Rick was playing on lead, even though like, it wasn't lead stuff. Like I don't know, just like I don't know if you remember during I think this was part of the first two songs in that 30 minute, but like the way Peter was strumming was like almost like bluegrass. It was absurd.
Dude, no, he brings a whole different aspect to the band. I don't think he was an original member of this band, and then was added probably in like 2018 or so, 2018, 2019. Um, but he changed everything, man. He is just smiling up there. He clean shaven, mustache, has top. Like again, I was trying, Peter, if you ever hear this, I was trying to get you my hat because this is all you needed to literally be Luigi.
Absolutely. That mustache was bonkers.
It's so good. But he's smiling the whole time up there, brings the energy. He honestly did Rick even say anything? Like I think Peter did all the talking.
To the actual crowd, yes. Yeah, Peter was the one who talked to the crowd. Um, I mean, they didn't say much to the crowd though. I mean, what was there to say? Like,
They said
sorry, didn't mean to totally shred your face off.
yeah, I mean an apology would be a start. But hey, they said what's good, Shohio. That stuck with me.
Yeah.
Um, but all right, so like we said, so 30 minutes first two songs, and then they went into one of my favorite Goose songs, one that we listened to two or three Goose songs before we went to the show, and this was one
Yeah.
of them. And it was called
Track 1 off of Moon Cabin.
Turned Cloud. And what a like this song is a blast. It on the actual track, it sounds like you're like hearing it through like an old fashioned like radio, and then um it just kind of like breaks into it. He's talking about like the clouds like going away and whatnot, and his voice starts brightening up. But it is a bop. We got to see them tee off on this. Like I'm gonna post a video when we post this episode. But there was a point where in between their little breaks, like Club said, like it's all different than the studio album with what they do during their like breaks and solos. But Peter did that one thing where the light just shined on him and he was just like dun 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 and like just teed off on the piano for a quick like 10 seconds and then they went right back into it.
Yeah. Yeah, like the way he not necessarily on this song, but like the way he just would add different elements with the piano, like rhythmically, was just ridiculous. Yeah, this song he had a bit more of like a lead part with the piano and was playing yeah, like more melodic stuff that was, taking the lead on the song. Um yeah, I mean, this is just one of my favorite Goose songs. Yeah, they just absolutely killed this one.
Dude, this one is so good. Yeah, I'm very, very glad they played it. Um, and then from there, they went into one called Bob Don, which is only a live one that's not on any record or anything. There's
Yeah,
either this one, and then to close out the first half, they also went into a song called Rockdale, and that's just another live one, I believe. But
and
somewhere in
who knows?
there, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, who knows? Maybe we'll see him on Dripfield because Goose has been known to record songs that have been traditionally live only, and then put them on studio albums once they, go to hit the studio.
Yeah,
Um,
no, they have a lot. I mean, they really only have like the Moon Cabin, and they put out an album last year called Shenanigans Nightclub. Um, but besides that, it's a lot of just like live albums, and again, a lot of stuff made during the pandemic that they put out. They almost put out like every other show, honestly, on YouTube, with like great quality. Like they had the cameras like set up. They had people going around with the cameras as well. Like they have it down for day and age and how to give people what they want from video wise.
And actually, so I just pulled it up. Goose actually did release the track listing off of Dripfield, the upcoming album. So neither of these two songs are going to be on it. So we can put that to bed. But guess what song that has been live only by Goose? We didn't get to see it. That's the hint. But has been a live only song that is going to be recorded for Dripfield.
Don't tell me it's Hot Tea.
It's Hot Tea.
Oh, dude, no way. I haven't even looked at that set list or set list, the album list. That song is what got me into Goose. Hot tea in the kitchen. Dun, 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 honey on your spoon.
I'm interested to see how long it's going to be because all the live versions that you find of it are 10 plus minutes.
Oh my gosh, what a song. That's God, that gets me so excited. We'll definitely be doing a Dripfield review. But all right, so back to the set list. One more thing I wanted to add that happened somewhere in those two songs that I just named. Peter, I want to say it was a Korg, but I don't know exactly. But he got some sounds out of it where he was just like slapping it and pressing it down, and
Yeah,
like was it a
it was
Korg? It felt
serving
like a
the
Korg.
purpose of rhythm without like using a rhythm guitar.
Yeah, like dun dun
Yeah,
dun
no,
dun 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 dun.
it definitely looked like a Korg, because I believe it was his left hand was like constantly like sliding something back and forth. So yeah, it definitely looked like a Korg to me, but it reminded me of. So like, did you ever play Backyard Baseball 2001 when you were younger?
Of course.
Yeah, so like if you remember just like sort of like the organ sounds that would play when you're on like the main menu,
Dun
like that
dun.
was the sound he was getting out of it. Do do do
Whoa.
do 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 do. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my loaf. That is awesome. What a throwback. Dude, you brought up that.
Yeah,
You brought up like NFL Street and these. Now, like I am really about to just go buy them, like the exchange. Well, those are PC games. Oh,
yeah. I have it on this computer actually. I never got rid of the disc.
all right. We'll bring that computer next time and we'll live stream it. We'll live stream us playing backyard baseball because I know that's what you people want.
I got Pablo.
Son of a bitch. All right, so that ended the first set. They took about 20-30 minute break, I would say. They went on at 8:30. Um, I really want to get to the second half of this set, but I just can't until I ask what is going on with that neck pillow. You haven't told me yet. Like, can you tell me?
So, this neck pillow is to pay homage to Goose because when I went to that show last Thursday, I got whiplash from just like how far back my face moved when I just got blasted with the amazing sound from the guitar, the bass, the drums, the keys. Like, I just blown away. So I just needed a little neck protection.
If that's not the biggest homage you could pay to someone, I don't, or to a band, I don't know what is. That your neck needs to be secured after a night of hanging out with the Goose.
Yeah, and technically, this show's like if you go like look it up on Ticketmaster or whatever, it's called An Evening with Goose, which also makes sense as to why they played like so late. Like they warned you. They said it's an evening with Goose.
It was an evening, and I will never forget as well. You walking out my door at like midnight, 12:30, to drive back to the Lido, and you just looked at Dirty and I, and you were like, "Well, boys, we got our socks rocked."
We
and,
sure did.
and that was the and I like went to bed and was just like closing my eyes, and I was like, I did get my socks rocked. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel like with jam bands is it's very hard to leave like an unsatisfied customer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, very rarely are you like going to bed like, yeah, I wish they would have played more
No,
guitar.
they give you a bang for your buck. But yeah, so this second set started out with a song called "Echo of a Rose," and that was just another live one. Um, this one, and then it went into a song called "Into the Mist," which is one
Another
off
Moon
of
Cabin
Moon
song.
Cabin. And man, these ones teased me. I thought they teased. We talked about Hot Tea. We talked about the song called "Flow Down" off their Shenanigans nightclub album, and it like I thought like I was dead ass. I turned around the club so many times and was like, "We got it," and I just looked like a fool. But I don't know. I would like to ask them, like, do you tease these songs on purpose, or is it like just so happen you hit those same notes? Because one of them definitely sounded like the start of Flow Down, and one of them literally sounded like Hot Tea. Like I was dead ass convinced.
Oh, and we were really convinced during the encore, but we'll get to that.
Uh
um, I've always wondered though, this song "Into the Mist." Are they sort of like either paying tribute to or playing off of the song "Into the Mystic" by Van Morrison? Um, I don't know, just
that is
something
a
I've always wondered.
yeah, no, it's I mean they don't spell mist M-I-S-T, it's M-Y-S-T.
Yeah, which is you're only missing the I and the C, and then you've got Mystic. That's why I sort of think like maybe they are.
That'd be very
I mean,
cool.
who doesn't like Van?
Who doesn't like Van? And want to know what? We'll look back on this one day. But Goose, when we interview you, we will be asking that.
Yeah,
Get Goose on
the
Vinyl
brown-eyed
Stallions.
girl.
Bring him on to give him Morrison on the Stallions. I know a couple of you out there know Van personally, so yeah, just let him know. He's welcome to sit on our couch anytime.
Yeah, we'll fly him all the way out from Ireland
Van
into the Mystic.
into Ohio. So from
um,
there, we get another cover, I believe. Oh no, sorry. Uh, so number 8 is the Old Man's Boat, which is a Goose song, another live one only that they've done. Um, I didn't know the one that well, but again, just I'm sure it threw me into a goo pit. By that time, I was like, "What time is it? Where am I?" So that was probably the one I at least remember. But from there, they went into an Unreal cover. That was a blast. Let them know.
so this Goose not the only band that covers this song. Hootie and the Blowfish, they do a very prominent cover of this song as well. But it is Use Me by Bill Withers.
And we were looking at each other. We knew it was a cover. Um, we and Club definitely called it. That it was. He said Hootie first, and then he said the other one. And I know I
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Hootie's not the original artist. It's Bill Withers.
Bill Withers. And no, that was a great one. They brought out, I believe, so the people went nuts. They're like, we're gonna bring out a special guest. And the people in the crowd went nuts. And we were like, who is this? Like, and it I looked it up. I'm pretty sure this guy's like their manager or someone who like tours with them and is a homie of theirs. And he came out. I don't even know what that is, but it's like those things where you like turn it around. It's like a long stick and the beads go through, but it just makes like that whoosh, whoosh sound.
I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't hear it at all.
Really, I was kind of looking at him. He was smiling the whole time.
Yeah, oh, he was having a ball. Yeah, I mean, they let him stay out there for not just Use Me. He was out there for the next song too, wasn't he?
I believe so. And want to know what? I believe they call him Coach, so we'll refer to him as Coach. Um,
Okay.
but so that, and then something else that we haven't really talked about in the crowd yet was there's these bumblebees. There was probably like 50 of them throughout this entire place who were just wearing like bumblebee
Yeah,
piercings.
Peter called them the honeybees.
Honeybees. It must just it's the new deadheads. But
Yeah, yeah. After he came out and was like, "Hello, Shohio," he was like, "Yeah, shout out to all the honeybees," and like was pointing at him.
They were hype, and like I touched on the crowd a little bit about how it was like the biggest one, but everyone was dancing, crowds of all ages. No snails really. I mean, like pigeons and goose
No
are
snails. Yeah,
no,
we did not run into a single snail.
no, we didn't honestly. Yeah, we haven't touched on that. A lot of Stallions people were there for the music. Um, yeah, no, we were in front of like the tallest guy I've ever seen at a concert to start it. We like snuck up right behind
He
him.
smelled awful. I got a whiff of him. He smelled awful, but
well,
he was over to the right of us by the end of the show.
well, you got him for that concert. I got that other guy for the Corn concert earlier in the week.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
give, take. Um, yeah, it's gonna get sweaty out there, ladies and gentlemen, if you're playing until midnight.
Ladies and gentle swine.
Ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so from there to close out the actual set, they played Dripfield. Again, the title of their new album coming out this summer. Um, we'd heard it before, and Klopp actually called it when they started playing it. And I think it's because
Because the
everybody
drum part.
drums. Yeah, the drums.
Yeah, no, for me, this was the song of the night, like for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I just love this song. It's an absolute banger.
It is. Yeah, and it only gets me more excited again to see what these guys can do when they sit down in a studio and not just do it live, but like think about every part specifically. Um, and that new release of Dripfield in the past couple of weeks has shown that. And man, the fact that Hot Tea is going to be on this album gets me so excited. Like everyone in the crowd was chanting for it. They're like, "Put me in the kitchen! Put me in the kitchen!"
Yeah. um, and I don't know if you've ever seen the Dripfield music video, but they're just like out somewhere in the mountains, and they're just like, I don't know, it's just nonsense.
Dude, these
Just
guys are
driving around doing random things.
like these guys are just so relatable as well because they're like our age, like late 20s, maybe early 30s or something. But I don't know, just having a good time, man, and just doing what they love and doing it their own way. Um, damn it, Goose! All you did was inspire me more. It's kind of great. I'm gonna do a little plug here for the Spruce inside the Goose, but I mean, it was just I started my process of actually going to my producer and recording my album earlier that day, and then I just go and see one band I'm obsessed with that is like my age and whatnot, and it was so inspiring. Like when I was in those goo pits, like I said, just like thinking, that's all I was thinking about, and I was like, oh my god, wait, I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Inspiring, man.
It's honestly, it's just crazy to think of how good they are for how young they are.
Yeah, it's only gonna be fun to see them grow and continue to see them. But so they go into an encore. We're tired. I'm like Dirty's telling me there's not going to be an encore. I'm like, no, the lights are off. There's going to be an encore. Hang on.
Oh yeah, I was like, Dirty. You know, I've been checking out the sets like every night and up until this show. Like, there's gonna be an encore.
And so they come out. They come out. I mean, I'm expecting them to just play like a banger of like their own, or like I don't even know what to expect. And they just come out playing, whip it good.
Do 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 do.
Do 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 do. Shake it up.
Crack that whip.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, mama's lip.
Do 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 do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so fun. The energy in the crowd just like picked up like no other.
Whip it good.
Yeah, hold on. So speaking of Whip It, like I just got to throw this out there because I feel like we both saw it, but like did not acknowledge it at all. Do you remember those two dudes when we were walking back to the car after the show, literally making whippets on the street and selling them? Like just
Dude.
like in the middle of Cleveland, like these two dudes just I don't even know honestly, I don't even know what gas is used in whippets, but these dudes just had a tank of whatever gas and were filling up these balloons and trying to sell them. I had never seen anything like it. We just walked right past these people, just did not say a word about it. But now that we're here, like, we just got, like, I just got to throw that out there. Like, what in the world was that?
I like forgot, dude. Yeah, I mean, like I saw like it was like right as soon as you walked out, and like someone said something like quickly about it. Like I think it was you, but yeah, like who's got like like you can't disguise it. Like you're not gonna be like, oh, I'm just selling balloons to people leaving the Agora at midnight on a Thursday. No, no, you're not. You're lying to
they
yourself.
they they weren't hiding it at all. They, like, I forget what the price was, but they were just like, whippets, $5, whippets,
Take it to the
like
face.
just
It's
like a
before you
normal
get
street vendor.
take it. You get a hot dog with it. um,
Buy one get one free.
yeah. Holy crap, hilarious. Um, but all right, so yeah, they did whip it, and then to end the entire show, Clef might have done a whip it. We all whipped it good, shake it up, whip it now. But they ended this whole set with just the ultimate tease. So there are two songs that we just love, and it's maybe they're Goose's most popular ones, but like Hot Tea, like we said, then another one called Jive One, and they have multiple versions of this Jive song. They have Jive 2, they got one called Jive Lee, and I think there's another one, honestly. So they started out, they all kind of have the same similar guitar riff, and it turns out we got Jive Lee, which has no singing in it, but again has that kind of same vibe. Um,
Boop, boop, doop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, doop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, doop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, doop, boop.
and it like we had a great set. Like I mean, they closed it again. It was just jam into that, no lyrics or anything, but it was just so like I don't even know like how to describe my emotions. But the next night they played Hot Tea and Jive One in the same set, and I was like, no, I want to see it. Um, but hey, that's the beauty, honestly, of like jam bands, man, is like being like, okay, now I can check this off. I've seen Turned Cloud, I've seen Jive Lee. Like it's I
I've seen
really
Into the Mist, yeah.
into the mist. Like it's fun to like go about that way and then like hope and be like, oh, let's hopefully we get this one. But it was a great end of the show. I mean, we don't did it again, clap. We got out ASAP. They were hit the last note. They were flashing G's everywhere for Goose. That's when I was like, time to go.
Yeah, no, that's a good point that you made about, like, sort of like the shows being like a collection of sorts. And um I mean, I could definitely see Goose evolving to the band that like has this sort of following. But like Dave Matthews Band, again, like a very
Who?
prominent, like arguably the most popular jam band currently. But their fans are so crazy. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone right now. They have an app called
Dude.
DMB Hub. Look at this thing.
Oh, I
So
know.
I can go in here, personal stats, my shows, and it shows you like there's the 3 concerts I've been to, and I can like go in here, break down by album, like
Oh,
just
that's cool.
like, and
That's cool. But
it's
that
just
dude.
all the songs I have. And it's like that's one of the cool things about jam bands though, is like you get a new show every single time you see them. So it's like you just, you know, hearing a certain song at a show is like they might not play it again for like 5 years, and like now you just got this rare unique experience, and then you can tell other people about it, and it's cool.
It is. No, there's nothing like jam band. We just went on a jam band tirade this past month. Like we literally have been through it all. We're gonna be taking a little break on concerts for these next couple weeks. Maybe we'll see.
Until Pigeons and
Yeah,
Humphreys and Goose's new albums all come out, and then we'll be seeing them all again in the summer and fall.
yeah. Honestly, I mean, like 30, 40 bucks to see a concert like that. Like, y'all people are nuts if you're not out there doing it. And if you aren't, you might die trying.
Yeah, no, I mean, Dripfield is out in what, April?
Yeah, I don't know exactly, honestly. But it might be more in the summer. I know the Pigeons is coming out in April.
Yeah, and I think the Humphreys album is June. So yeah, realistically, all three of those bands are probably gonna tour.
Yeah. No, we'll be definitely I keep ramping it up for that summer of 2022, but it's gonna be a blast. I'm really excited to see just what random concerts we end up going to last minute and whatnot. But yeah, this was a great one. Shout out to Goose. You are seriously an inspiration for your boy Spruce. I will be rocking my Luigi hat and trying to give the Pete the next show that I go to.
I will be wearing this at the next show.
Dude, that may be pretty comfy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, if anyone asks, I'm just gonna be like, you're gonna wish you had one of these because you're just gonna be.
Maybe we should make some Vinyl Stallion approved neck gear so people can wear them to the concerts and feel nice. And maybe some Vinyl Stallions like icy hot. So like when your knees are standing, you can just throw some icy hot on and get Stallion, get oiled up for the second half.
Yeah, can we get Icy Hot to sponsor the show?
Hey, it starts with an email. Oh, man. All right. Well, that about wraps it up. We have a hell of a week coming to everyone out there. We're just going to drop this shit right now. We're past midnight, but we're just going to put this out. Hopefully, y'all are listening. But besides that, I'm Spruce.
I'm Clip.
And this has been another episode of Vinyl Stallion. Bum, 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 bum.